Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm here to review music. And this is a new film, the directorial debut, feature film debut of Sia, who also wrote the script to this, who is a famous musician and would direct some of her own music videos, and now she's like, did some music videos, let's make a movie. And realistically, this film feels like an excuse just to throw in a bunch of Sia music videos. At the center of this film, Kate Hudson, who plays this woman who's just a mess. She's going to these talk groups because she's trying to get over being an addict, and her grandmother passes away, and now she's responsible for her half-sister who's on the autism spectrum. And this young woman's played by Maddie Ziegler. And it's probably important to point out that Maddie Ziegler is not on the autism spectrum and plays this character very, very, very full of all kinds of tics and quirks. And honestly, it was a little awkward and uncomfortable to watch, knowing that she is neurotypical and just doing all these grunts and different kinds of tics and stuff like that, and there really wasn't much to the character of Music, that's her name, besides that she would go off onto these fantasies throughout the film that were basically Sia music videos. They're really awesomely choreographed, they looked really awesome, the music, it's poppy Sia music, so if you like Sia music, you're going to enjoy it. They were the highlights of the movie. And it definitely seems like those are the areas that Sia is most comfortable with. The whole rest of the movie feels really weird, because you have this narrative, and there's nothing original about this story. It all feels like you've seen it before. This person has to become, something like this was done so much better in a film like Palmer that just released on Apple TV Plus, where you have this person who has been through some stuff and now has to be the guardian to a young person who's dealing with not being quote-unquote normal. And at least that film was respectful. This film was not. And Music is basically just a caricature of somebody on the autism spectrum. I do not have a specific background in this, but my significant other is a BCBA. She works with kids on the autism spectrum every single day. It is her passion, it's her life's work. I watched this with her. She was really angry and frustrated and really pissed off and uncomfortable watching the exploited, basically this film felt like we need a kid who can have all these fantasies so that we can make these Sia-like music videos, these music video-like scenes directed by Sia, so let's just make them autistic and have them have all these fantasies. Bam, there you go. Don't have to explain why they're having all these weird, crazy, bright-colored, flashy light kind of sequences that we think are going to be really cool, which they are. They're really well done. They're really well put together. But, it's exploitive. And then you have, so there's a lot of controversy about holds and restraints in this film, which, to be fair, Kate Hudson's character has no idea what she's doing. But the film sets up this African character, played by Leslie Odom Jr., as somebody's like, oh, I know how to deal with people with autism, and act like this foreign, mystical African man knows all this magical way of soothing an autistic person, and this just comes off really offensive and insensitive, and it's just no. And the things he tells her to do is really dangerous and horrible that no self-respecting person who works with people with autism would ever do to someone, because it's dangerous and can hurt them and can kill them. So this film setting that up as this is the right way to do it, because this character who's built up as this all-knowing magical person, no, it's not right. And the thing is, this film just uses this character of Music as a way to bring in all these flashy, showy scenes, because they don't really focus on her. And the thing is, you don't really buy into this relationship that Kate Hudson's character builds with music because she doesn't spend that much time with her. She dumps her off on other people more. And you have Kate Hudson meeting with her drug dealer boss, who's Ben Schwartz with cornrows, which, come on. If it was just one insensitive thing in this whole movie, and then you have that. And then, like, Sia pops in, wanting to buy drugs to send to Haiti, and, like, it's just a weird scene, weird circumstances. None of these characters have really any depth or originality to them, and they're this whole film feels like an excuse to have Sia music videos plastered through a feature-length film. And then you have this young man who is, like, in the background character, popping in ever so often. Like, something terrible happens to them for, like, emotional manipulative impact, and it's just like, why was this character even introduced? Just to bring this tragic thing to happen so that you could get some cheap emotional ploys? If it weren't for those music video scenes and the really committed performance by Kate Hudson, who she really goes all in on this film, this was completely irredeemable. It feels so just insensitive and uninformed and lazy. There's nothing really original about this except for those musical sequences, which, by the way, there's like one scene of actual singing in the film, so categorizing this as a musical is a little odd because nobody actually sings. It's all like pop music in the soundtrack to all of these music, like these music video type choreographed dances. And here's the lack of logic of the film as well. These are supposed to be music's thoughts on how the world looks, despite the fact that half of these sequences don't happen around her, nor is she pervy to anything going on in them. And some of them are the music sung by Leslie Odom Jr., so like they're his perspectives, but is he also experiencing these kinds of like strange visions? No. The movie doesn't make sense. And in the end, it just felt hollow and shallow and just an excuse, a manipulative and insensitive excuse to make a bunch of music videos into a movie. Harsh, but those are my thoughts on music. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.